Alright, so Mardu Knights. I like the core of what's going on here. I think this card's especially sweet in our deck with Midnight Reaper and Judith. It is kind of Judy Day. It's one thing that might end up getting changed pretty quickly in here is the mana. I might actually make a couple adjustments before we start here now that I'm looking at this. So there's only 20 lands in this deck. And there's only 8 red sources, which is not enough for either of those things, especially with a curve that's trying to get as big as this curve is going. So I think I'm going to start by like, so generally speaking, I like to mention that like I always play the decks card for card, but if there's something like there aren't enough lands, that's something that's going to negative. Oh wait, there's lands over here. Why, stupid Magic Arena. I'm dumb. There's 25 lands. 25 lands is fine. Arena got me. It stacked it off to the side. There's no scroll bar left to right for some reason. I'm going to put 2 Judys in for these other 2 things, though, because I love this card. Then I have to put some cards in the sideboard. Let's just go up to the full set of conclaves. Was this thing only a what? 1 card? There's only 13 cards in the sideboard someone submitted to me. Awkward. I wonder if they have a split card in there that didn't translate. Let's throw some Lava Coil in there, because I love that card. Oh, Consume's a good one. I like Consume. Yeah, let's play the crap out of Consume. All right. Well, no. After I moved Judy, there were only 13. There were 11 cards in the sideboard, which means they submitted 13. All right, let's dive in. Yeah, I dropped the Jousus and moved the Judys into the main. I think that card's absurd. Especially with Revival in the main deck, like, max Judys all the time sounds great. Is Bedevil too hard for the mana? I don't know offhand. Perfect. It's exactly what we wanted for Christmas, chat, was a 2-drop into Judy. So I can get to lunch. Sorry, Mojo, no can't do. We're gonna be here jamming. I mean, like, I'm sure there's some games where we're flood and could kick Jousu, but I think just having more good 3-drops is probably good. This card's actually pretty good with History of Benalia too, right? Just like make a bunch of 3/2s. You think 3/2 first strikes are a nightmare to block? How about 4/2 first strikes? Is Revival an instant? It is not. Man, we're definitely playing this card for the Revival half, but I really hope we get to revenge someone at some point today. Dunk. Alright, they got a big booty to try and block Judy, but... Oh, jeez! We have Dauntless Bodyguard. This is exactly what Judy needed, chat. Judy needs a bodyguard to protect her from all the violent things people want to do. People like to kill Judy, chat. She needs protection. Also, this just like triggers Judy when you sack it too. That's good, clean synergy. That's fantastic. Ray Day Pinball, thanks for the tip. I'd be happy to get that into the format. I really like Black-White Angels. Black-White Angels, Black-Red Aggro have been good. Girl Rhythm was great. You can find a bunch of my favorites on my website. So, do I attack with both of these? Do we just smork? I could sack the Bodyguard to kill the egg. So I could, like, attack with Knight of Grace, they block with Phoenix, I sack the Bodyguard, kill the egg. That's probably fine. I could also just, like, attack with everything here and, like, revival Judy next turn. They're going up to 6 mana next turn, so next turn's gonna be a big turn for them. Yeah, if they block the Bodyguard, that feels bad. I think I'm gonna hang tight for a turn. I think I'm just gonna pass, because, like, if I hit a land next turn, this gets to give my stuff double strike, so I think it's worth waiting. Oh, Taco, with the brand new Prime Sport. Thank you very much and welcome. Hey, I appreciate that. Well, that's a pretty good one, too. Think I'm just passing again. I was like, once I hit the land, the Valiant Knight is going to be absurd. I still don't think I attack. I think I just, like, hang tight for a second. If we hit the land, we just, like, quad abyss them. Just, like, attack, you have to block 4 things. Good luck. Judy is the queen that the knights are protecting. She's the queen of the kingdom, chat. It's perfect. Perfect. Smush. Growth Chamber Guardian, I think is going to be a 4 of in every green deck in this format. Spend your wild cards and don't look back. It's worth picking up. Revenge doubles my health total and halves their health total. They have to block all of these. They're all lethal. Someone's asking what Judy does. Judy gives them extra power. Can we leave Ravnica? I have no idea. That's an interesting idea. Like, will the quality suffer when we leave Rav? It might. But at the same time, what's for them to do for? At the same time, once we leave Rav, we're going to have a new non-rotating format on Arena. So if Standard becomes medium once we leave Rav, and remember, we're not leaving Ravnica until 2020. So that's a long time from now. Long time coming before that happens. All right, so they're dead because they didn't block this. Did they not realize I could give double strike? They didn't block this, so this is lethal. Opponent made an oopsie. Alright, excellent. Good. That is in fact how Double Strike works. Maybe they didn't realize Valiant Knight had an activated ability. Lava Coil's probably really good here, huh? They don't seem to have a lot of removals, so I'm gonna cut the revivals. Fauna's probably a little bit slow, just like be a little bit lower and have some removal spells. First strike should have killed the Phoenix, and when the Knight died, you could ping the token. Yeah, that's correct. That is a good thing to point out. Do I want Consecrate because they have Phoenix? Is that worth it? What else do I want to trim, though? I kind of like all the creatures that I have. Is it Judy? I don't know. I have the Lava Coils. Yeah, I think the Coil handles it already. I think I'd rather have the Consecrates. It's more there for the Carnage Tyrant matchup, I think. Yikes. I think this is a keep, but we'll see. Yeah, deck seems really interesting. I can't take credit for this deck, so this deck, like many of the decks that we play on this stream, is a viewer-submitted deck list. So if you have a sweet idea that you'd like to share with the world, be sure to check out my deck submission process and get it into the queue so we can play it at some point in the future. Awesome, Swinger. Well, welcome to a live one. Glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff. Thanks for dropping in. The reason why Judith is better than Marshall in this deck, I think, is because, like, look at this land, right? This land doesn't make white mana. Like, this is a fantastic opener for, like, showing why it's probably a little bit better. How do you feel about Domri and Gruul? He's a little bit worse than Vivian a lot of the time. I like him as a supplement to Vivian out of the sideboard against control decks, but in general, I'd rather have Vivian in the main. Heroic Reinforcements is an interesting consideration. History into Heroic is like a fantastic curve, and Heroic's also another card that's like good with Judy, so I could see getting Heroic Reinforcements in here at some point for sure. It does not seem unreasonable. Is it time to give him a history lesson? I guess I don't want to give them a history lesson just yet, because I'd have to just chump block this, otherwise it's going to destroy my enchantment. How long have we been going? We've been going for about 3.5 hours. I usually start about a little bit before 8 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time. Yes, when the egg token is out, you can exile the Phoenix before it returns. Their adapt creatures kind of go into town here. No attack there feels real good for us. Midnight Reaper makes combat a little bit awkward for my opponent because they can't really even force jump blocks profitably. Because, like, I'm going to get to just draw so many cards every time they do it. I've not played Mardu, only black-white. I think there's a Mardu list or two in the queue. There's a lot of stuff in there that we're going to get to eventually. Only so many hours in the day, unfortunately. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Like, these trade, but I draw 4 cards, so sign me up. And, like, getting one of these Midnight Reapers off the table is actually a good thing, because it means that, like, I'm not going to be in danger of dying inside of combat steps. So, like, I want to play the Midnight Reaper out to get some value, but, like, I don't want to keep 2 of them in play for the long term. And, like, if we draw an untapped white source here, I get to go History next turn, which would be great. Abzan, Angel, and Growth Chamber Guardian, potentially fine. Growth Chamber Guardian's really good, and the Angels deck is probably in the market for more good 2-drops. That's something Matt was digging for. He was trying to find more good cards to play on the second turn of the game. One of the things that's hard, though, is, like, if you're trying to splash green into a deck, like, and play a green 2-drop, it can be difficult. I love that this format has so much grindy card advantage in every single archetype. And, like, next turn, I get to go make 2 more things. Knight, Judy. An Angels deck playing Landwar Elves is probably pretty good. So you could, like, play the Angels deck and be, like, base green white with a splash for, like, Duress out of the sideboard and Seraph, the Afterlife Angel. That doesn't seem unreasonable. Because, like, Landwar Elves is, like, really good in the Angel shell because you want to play, like, your 4-drops ahead of curve. Aren't I dead if they have any removal? I have no idea, am I? How does that work? We're like pseudo close to dead. It's worth noting that the Midnight Reaper doesn't deal damage to us when tokens die. So the Midnight Reaper's not going to damage us if tokens die, which is nice. They kind of need to get frisky on this combat step. I wouldn't honestly be too surprised, yeah, to see them adapt this plus smash. I think the full swing here is pretty good on their part. I think I double block here, single block, single block. Alternatively, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. So I take 5 here. No, it does not trample. None of these trample. I think I do this. I want you to build a deck around build around deck submissions are $25. I mean, we're kind of gonna be well set up here in a second. So, like, I took one of their things off the table, they took some of our things off the table, but, like, I'm replacing way more of mine, right? Like, next turn I get 2 things here, and I play 3 things out, plus Judy's gonna give things more power. I think we're in an okay spot here at the moment. And, like, these pop off next turn, too. So, like, both of these being 4/2s is huge. Because I get to, like, have these, one of these, each one of these, and the other one trades. Was this a free attack? I don't think so. Yeah, now they have to worry about the backspring swing because the histories are popping off. Like, they don't have good attacks into us, and the histories are going to pop off and slaughter them next turn. Drooping Fig with the brand new Prime Support. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we just keep jumping and drawing cards, and these histories are going to pop off, and we're going to kill them. Rhythm's a little late to the party. Yeah, Midnight Reaper's a knight. Is this a Mathis for blockers moment? I feel like this is a Mathis for blockers moment. I'm definitely attacking with these. Do I attack with Dauntless Bodyguard too? Probably. So I need to figure out. So if they block these two, they have to block at least 3 of my things with this attack. And if I attack with Judy too, they have to block. If they do this and they block here, block here, block here, block here, they're still taking these and like 2 of these die and they die. I think this attack is just lethal. I don't know, figure it out. I think the Judith triggers make this attack lethal. Thankfully, I'm not the one who has to figure this out, okay? So, these blocks leave them dead. These blocks kill them. These blocks do not kill them, but they're good for us. Like, super excited about these blocks. How much would it cost to get Abs and Angels into queue? Build around deck submissions are $25 per sip. So they're hoping to draw a flying threat or a trampling threat off the top. That was sweet. That was great. Judith is, we talked about Growth Chamber Guardian being one of my favorite cards in the set for most powerful. Judith is up there too. Judith, Growth Chamber, and Theater of Horrors, I think, are my 3 favorite rares in the new set. Dude, they do a lot of good work. Yeah, exactly. This deck is like a bunch of reasonable Magic cards that like also are a little bit synergistic together. So like they're individually fine, but they're also like really good when they all team up. This might be too slow. I think it's on the right. That's a good way. That's a great way to phrase it, Pino. I think this is on the right side of keepable. I agree with that assessment. You're not like, this isn't like a hand where you like write home about or like tell your buds after the game like, oh man, my hand was awesome and it was great. But you're like, well, I don't mulligan this, right? Growth Chamber Guardian is a meaningful early game play that also scales into the late game while giving you something to do with your mana. Cards that allow you to, cards that are modal basically, cards that are good early and good late tend to be rare. So like Growth Chamber Guardian is an A+ example of a card that's fine on 2, that's also good later. Cards that slot into aggressive decks as threats that also generate card advantage tend to be very powerful as well. Would Taste to be good in this list? I don't think so. I think she's worse than the other powerful cards that we're playing. I think this deck arguably already has too much top end in it. And like putting in more top end is probably bad. If anything, I want more 2-drops in this deck. Opponent's start has been very good here.
I will lend you my strength.
So the problem with Growth Chamber, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Golgari ends up playing the Explore creatures and Growth Chamber Guardian. If they have like an Angel here, I'm gonna concede. History is still pretty bad for us. Pretty dead here. A little bit too slow. Like, the hand that we kept was, like, pretty slow, and then, like, the way things ended up lining up was not good for us. This might be too slow here, but I want to give it a try. Might be too slow, want to give it a try. I'm going to cut Midnight Reaper, because their deck's a little bit aggressive. This is 22 creatures, basically 26 with history. That's probably fine. Yeah, I'm going to try my Mortify and bring one Knight back in. Fauna's okay. I like the fact that she provides a little bit of life gain for us to offset, but she's definitely, like, medium against faster decks. Which pack should you buy? Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance are the best packs to be buying right now. They have the highest concentrated of standard playable cards, along with the fact that they won't be rotating until 2020. So the older set packs do have useful cards in them for Constructed, but you should be aware that those sets are going to rotate out in October. So you're going to get 10 months to play with them if you buy them now, or 9 months to play with them, but they will be gone much sooner than the Ravnica sets. We did do a spreadsheet league to start the day off, so we're going to be doing one Magic Online League every single morning to kick the days off moving forward. We've still got a bunch of Modern and Legacy decks in the queue, so we're going to work through there. Will they be gone forever? No, you'll still have the cards, they just won't be legal and standard anymore. And there'll be a non-rotating format if you're similar with Hearthstone, similar to Hearthstone's Wild format, where you'll be able to play with them. Oh, you know what? I should have boarded out Dauntless Bodyguard, because this card lines up really poorly into, like, their Saprolings and stuff like that. And it sucks that I have 2 of them here, but this definitely should have happened. Are they to restart for full? They're not going to reset your cards. They said there's not going to be another account wipe. They said that after the closed beta wipe. Yeah, so the oldest 4 sets rotate out next fall. Magic Standard sets, Magic Standard always has between 5 and 8 sets, and when a 9th set would be introduced, you get to, when a 9th set would be introduced, the oldest 4 rotate out, and it goes back down to 5. You have to subscribe to watch my videos on Twitch, because I prefer you watch my archives on YouTube. If you don't want to wait to watch something on YouTube because we played it the same day, you don't want to wait till I publish it tonight, then you can sub if you don't want to wait. Otherwise, you can check out my website and my YouTube channel for anything we've played, historically speaking. This start's good for us. The fact that they haven't had a thing to stonewall this yet. I'm still going to board this out, especially on the draw for Game 3. I love giving them a history lesson, especially on the play. Especially because, like, both of these are knights. So, like, all of these are going to pop off when history pops off. YouTube seems to have low resolution. YouTube is 1080, 60 FPS. To Paris, thanks for the 6th month. I appreciate that. Welcome. If you clicked into them super quick last night, I mistakenly published a couple of videos before they were fully done processing. Because I worked for 13 hours yesterday. So YouTube is the same resolution. It's just sometimes I click it. I click it to put them live a little bit too soon. Hey, McDivil, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. I don't play in the traditional constructed events because a lot of the decks that are being played on the stream are unrefined, and playing them in the traditional queue gives me the flexibility to play them in between, to make changes in between matches. We've not played Bant Counters. Bant Counters are going to be the deck list after this. The decks listed in the stream title are decks that we still have yet to play. Afternoon, Jonesy. What's going on, Messor? Thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Thanks for your Bezo bucks this way this month. So, Badogs, I don't think Wilderness Reclamation is good in the Bant Flash deck because the Bant Flash deck doesn't have a consistent stream of card advantage available to it to make use of 2 different turns every turn. You post a deck list to YouTube, do you use the last list? Yes, yeah. So if when you go on my YouTube channel, there's always deck lists in the video descriptions, and the deck list that gets posted in the description is the last version when we're iterating through things. Try a different browser if the audio keeps going out of sync for you. Would be my recommendation. So History of Benalia is a white permanent for Knight of Malice. This will be a 3/2 now, so I can block Thorn Lieutenant profitably. And thankfully, we're just going to get to give them another history lesson here. So history to history is such a brutal curve, especially when we had another Knight on too. Yeah, I think Merfolk was pretty close to playable without Breeding Pool, and with Breeding Pool, it's excellent. If they have a big fat elephant here, we could be in trouble. No elephant is great for us. So I'm going to go ahead and just play History again to get this popping off. And then next turn, I could probably go Midnight plus Lava Coil. Or perhaps even just Valiant Knight. I guess if I Valiant Knight next turn, when this pops off, I can give Double Strike, which would be good. Which direction should white-green tokens go? If I was working on tokens in the current standard format, I would experiment with splashing blue for Dovin Bond. I think there's a lot of potential in trying that. So I'm actually going to play the Valiant Knight out here before I do anything else, because Valiant Knight means that I have much better attacks, right? If I attack with this, they can't kill it, right? If they block with everything, I first strike down these two, and then these can't kill it. And then next turn, I can start attacking with everything, because I can threaten to double strike them. Nah, if I didn't want to repeat myself, I wouldn't stream. As a parent and a teacher, I'm used to repeating myself. Streaming's a lot like being a parent or a teacher. You repeat yourself often doing both of those things. Mission briefing doesn't solve problems that archetype has in my experience. Well, that's a good one. This card is sick. Can we get some hats off for Mortify here? Do I want my Lord or my history? I think I want the Lord, right? Because they give double strike. Yeah, I think the Lord is the call. Dunk. Excellent. Excellent. Sorry about your enchantment. This build seems pretty cohesive so far. Definitely mono Judy decks. The next Mythic Championship is in Cleveland, and it's next month, I believe. The first major standard tournament with these new sets will be this weekend in Indianapolis, though. Super excited to watch the standard open this weekend. That Pirates could like. Yeah, we tried Black-Red Pirates with Judith, and the archetype still just felt kind of medium. Yeah, I think both Judith and Lava Coil are, like, worth having. Orzhov, maybe I should look at the mana after this game. I'm not sure that I'm convinced that Orzhov Guildgate is a card we need to be playing. As someone who's like super conservative with the mana usually, I feel like this might be unnecessary. Yeah, I decided against going to Indy. I was like, just like looking back at how much I've been working and like looking at my stream schedule for this week and just like taking an entire weekend to go travel is just gonna be too much right now. This is like one of the busiest times of year for my work, basically. 4-color control. Yep. 5-color control, okay. You cannot IRL stream your matches. 5-color dragons. Neat. Neat. Oh, I'm so dumb. A stupid guild gate. I was thinking I could double spell here, but I can't. I should have played the guild gate. Do you have another job or is full-time streaming my thing? Full-time streaming's my thing. Actually, my employers want me to stay here. I know there's some people in chat that are talking about wanting me to go, but by and large, for the most part, it's better for me if I stay home. Every time I go to a major Magic tournament, I lose a significant amount of money. You drop a ton of subscribers. People making card suggestions, again, please be familiar with the chat rules or you're gonna get a 10-minute break for breaking them. Cloud Azir, thank you very much for the 7-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, you can't be using electronic devices that connect to the internet while you're playing a Magic tournament. You lose money as a streamer when you take time off because a majority of these subscriptions are Prime subs that people tend to have, myself included. And when you are not live, people forget about you and they dump their Prime sub in other places.
I will call the dragon whispers of your demise.
So like, for instance, at any given point, at any given point, my subscriber count is like 60% Prime subs or more. Like that one, Aragon, thank you very much for shipping your Prime this way this month. I appreciate that. Welcome. And obviously, some people come back and do it, but like, it takes a while, right? And like, I tried doing some YouTube original stuff to like make up for that, but it doesn't always work. Hey, Ethan Deltz with the brand new Prime Sports Belt. Thanks for the sub-train, folks. And Jazz HS. Hope all y'all are having a great time. There's a lot of great people you can give that to on Twitch. Thanks for shipping it this way. Yeah. You know, it was funny. I always thought the idea of Prime subs was a little bit weird. Like, they're basically just giving away money to streamers. But if you think about it, in a way, Prime subs are Twitch, like, funding original content, right? Thanks for all your content. Thanks for the subs, Fighting Walloon. I appreciate the 2 months. Welcome back. So second Midnight Reaper here is pretty sweet. Do I send all these up here? I think I just send all these up here. Yeah, I think so. Neck Bearded Drago, thank you for the 4 months. I appreciate the third of a year. J-Rock! Doling out the sub gifties. Thank you very much. You rock, J-Rock. Thanks for keeping me around. When someone subs, do you get the money right away or is there a hold for a streamer? So Twitch pays you out every time you get past a certain threshold. And when you stream full time, you get past that threshold every month usually. It's only like $100 or something like that, I think. So I get a check from, or a direct deposit from Twitch once per month. Destrominator, thank you for the 7-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome. And thanks for the tier 2 at that. I really appreciate it. Remember to drop me a message, let me know what deck you'd like to bump up in the queue. They have another dragon here. It's a little scary. No, we're basically contractors. You pay taxes independently at the end of the year. Man, we are getting dumpstered here. Wow, they have double Spitfire. I think we've been a little bit too slow here. The deafening Clarion that they had on turn 3 was definitely a little bit too much. So Judith is another body that attacks and blocks. She's also adds an effect to the board of dealing damage when your creatures die. Gives you a lot of reach in a lot of different ways, basically. Yeah, just a little bit too slow here. So, Revival seems good. Mortify is fine. The Judith deck was really rough to start, but I really like where we finished. It's definitely worth watching. If you think you might like that deck, it's worth checking out the end. If you like watching decks get tuned and changed, it's definitely worth watching. I feel like I want to cut some of my top end because they're pretty mediocre against their Spitfires. And I want to bring in some Duresses. Angrath, Eldest Reborn. How do we feel about this? This is 24 threats. This is like another pseudo threat. This might be a touch too much removal. Hey, Fitzbull with the brand new tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you're having a good one at your at. Consume kills fatties and gets rid of... Oh, I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, let's do that. I like that suggestion a lot. Yeah, this kills their big dudes, and it gets rid of Spitfire, and it just cycles when you don't need either mode, right? Like, modal cards are very, very good. Do I think this deck is better than Black White Angels? I'm not sure. My gut says no, because I feel like the average card quality in this deck is a little bit lower. Like, we're playing like 2 1s for 1. This deck's more aggressive than Black White Angels tends to be, but I think it is definitely a worse mid-range deck. I think the Ethereal is for, like, the green-black matchup. I'm actually not sure if that card's good in the sideboard. I feel like this deck's a little bit too aggressive to leverage what that thing is doing, that card is doing. But if we play against green-black, I want to have it to try there for sure. Clary on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are gone. Yeah, Consume is great for sure. That's another one of the split cards that's been excellent. I definitely misevaluated a couple of the split cards and thought they would be better than they are, but like Consume, Colossus Collision, those ones have panned out to be very reasonable. I watch for the deck, sub for the content, how you explain cards and choices. Well, thanks, Fitz. I appreciate it. Those subs are what keep me around. Let's it be my job. As long as they're subs, Christy's okay with this being my job. If there's one piece of advice I can bestow on you from this stream, it should be happy wife, happy life. I don't know much, but that I know is for sure. It's also an anthem. Yeah, it's a really expensive anthem, though. I think Tocatli is worse against green-black. Actually, I think Tocatli should probably be in this sideboard. I think that's probably a good suggestion. I think I'm just playing Midnight Reaper here, so that way if they have a sweeper, I get to... Oh, you know what? Maybe I should Dauntless Bodyguard, actually. Hey, TY, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. Watch, he needs to print a dive down for spell. Isn't that like Spell Pierce? We just watched the meme clip on Nox stream. That was a sick turn for sure. Fair and balanced. I mean, they're dead, right? They're actually dead. The history is popping off, and all of these are knights. He's dead, Jim. We've killed him! This is such a good History of Benalia matchup. Such a good History of Benalia deck. Like, and History's like one of those cards that's like so good on its own that it like, also the fact that you can make it better by surrounding it with other knights is absurd. Yeah, I think the Tocatli had slipped my mind. I think not playing Tocatli in a deck like this is a pretty big mistake. I think Tocatli's a card that's like pretty important against black-green. Like, so while a lot of people are trying different things on Magic Arena right now because trying new archetypes is fun, I definitely think that it's easy to forget that like the established good decks are still good, and you want Tocatli to beat up black-green. To shock you whenever you play a shock land. Yeah, I think I'm of the opinion that if your deck makes white mana and Tocatli doesn't impact your deck, you should play Tocatli in your deck. That's where I stand. Yeah, I think people are just bored with the Drake's deck, Sunshine. We played against a couple of them. I actually think Terramander could end up being an okay upgrade for them. Oh, tapped lands. I guess I'm keeping that. Oh no, I should have bottomed that. Holy crap. So like, that's a land that like lets my stuff come into play untapped here, but at the same time, it's not a second white source. So like, my hand still needs to draw more lands here, which is not great for me. Tocatli is good because the green-black deck in Standard is basically mono enter the battlefield effects. It's Jade Light Rangers and Ravenous Chupacabras and other explorers, stuff like that. I need my free Stoneforge Mystic emote. Well, thankfully, it looks like we're going to get to use that one for a while. Speaking of, if you want a free Stoneforge Mystic, you should go interact with that tweet. I've only ever subbed to friends, but the way you develop discussion and verbalize everything that you're doing is fantastic, so I can listen at work. Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the support. So we're kinda at parity here because they have one spell and we have one creature, but like they have two unknowns and we have 3 lands in hand, so like, He's dead, Jim. Bill Wiggett, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Let's take a peekaboo at what's going on here. I think I want to trim the Vana. I think once I trim Vana as a 5-drop, I can potentially cut a land as well. So let's think about the mana base here really quick. I kind of just want to put like 2 of these in the main because this card's like super flexible. So what is I mentioned I wanted to figure out if I need these silly guild gates or not. So if you haven't read Frank Karsten's Mana Math article, we basically want 17 white sources to hit white consistently by 3. So this deck actually has more than the 17 white sources that we need to consistently play History of Benalia. So I think I'm going to be able to trim these guild gates a little bit. I have 11, 13 red. I think I'm going to go up to a 14th red and just add a Blood Crypt here. So you'll notice when I'm working on mana base, if you followed the stream, is that I'm always counting how many colors of each source that I have. So right now, this deck has 18 white sources. It has 14 black sources, and it has 14 red sources. I actually might want a couple more black in here, huh? Might want like a 15th black. Can I cut a red source for a black source? Not really. Thanks, Dauber. Yeah, I think 18 white's enough. Maybe this is fine. I guess I've added a couple of Consecrates here as a cantrip, too. Now, I think 24 lanes is good, especially with the fact that, like, I'm 3 colors and I wanna hit. Yeah, it's probably fine. 14's probably fine. Let's add another Consecrate. Might be one too many, but I'm kind of high on this card. I like it a lot. And let's get some honor guards in the sideboard. Like I said, I think playing white and not playing this card is kind of a miss. Let's do this and dive into another match here. A card like Consume is a card that I like to refer to as having a high floor, because it's a card that, even when it's bad, it's still just pay 2 mana draw card. Lewis Mack with the brand new tier 1 sub. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Tuesday wherever you're at. I sold about 3K to the store, and they said they do a payment plan about $500 a month. They're currently 5 months behind. That's a legal question. I would talk to a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. So the thing about unclaimed territory is, if you think about what I was just talking about there, the thing I'm looking at trying to make mana sources for is History of Benalia, most notably. So unclaimed territory doesn't help me cast History of Benalia, so I can't replace any of my white sources with an unclaimed territory. I could potentially, a slacker, thanks to the brand new Prime support. Oh no, I think we're about to get land destruction, chat. I could possibly replace a Blood Crypt or a Dragonskull Summit with a copy of Unclaimed Territory. That might not be terrible. Like replacing like a Blood Crypt and a Dragonskull with 2 Unclaimed Territory might be fine. Watched the meme video you tweeted last night, burst out laughing at my office. It's a really good one. So I think I Midnight Reaper here rather than Judith, because there's a chance my opponent plays a sweeper next turn, and if they play a sweeper, I want to be able to draw a bunch of cards to recover a little bit of that card disadvantage. Also, the Midnight Reaper gives this an extra point of power, so I'm only missing 1 point of damage by waiting to play Judith. Can you explain problems of Bant Flash? I have no idea. You can watch the videos that we played. Actually, last night's video, if you haven't watched it, I went in depth talking about some of the issues I think it has at the start and how I made some changes to try and fix them. Well, that's fantastic. Y'all ready to give them a history lesson? Yeah, Midnight Reaper is very, very powerful. This is best of 3 non-ranked. We pretty much only play best of 3 on this channel. And like I mentioned here, Consecrate's real bad, but it's still just gonna pay 2 and draw me a card, so like it's not that bad. Will I play best of 3 ranked when it's available? Yeah, most of the decks we play on stream will end up being best of 3. I'll end up playing in best of 3 ranked. There's gonna be some decks where, like, if they look like they could be a little bit mediocre, we'll test them in unranked first, but a lot of the things that I accept will probably just play in ranked, especially the first season where there's, like, aren't any meaningful prizes for it. Where can you find the memekin list? You can find the memekin list and a ton of other awesome standard lists that are regularly updated on my website. So if you use the navigation at the top, there's a standard button, standard decks button. Definitely click into there and check it out. Gosh, Mortify seems really good in this matchup, huh? I think I want my Duresses for the sweepers. I want my Angrath in case the game goes a little bit long. I don't want Eldest Reborn because I don't have any planeswalkers or creatures. People pay you money to play mediocre decks. Can you believe it? What do I want to trim here? Yeah, we played a Sultai Bogles deck yesterday. It was kind of sweet. And you can find all the decks I played previously on my YouTube channel. I almost feel like I want to trim Valiant Knight just because it's really expensive. Just like keep my curve low. This doesn't die to Deafening Clarion though. I'm gonna trim a Mortify. While it has a meaningful text box, it's like probably gonna be a little bit clunky overall. Let's give this a try. I could even see maybe even trimming all the Mortify being correct. Stands great, right? Discard spell, Knight, Knight, Knight. Real decks have curves, chat. The real Juicy John stopping by to drop off my YouTube sub this morning. Loving the new standard content. Well, thanks for dropping in to do that, Juicy. Glad you enjoy it. Welcome. Welcome back. Zanish, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at in the world. Huh. So, the question I have to ask myself here is Dawn of Hope going to be relevant? I guess I have this Mortify, right? So do I just take the seal away? I think I just take the seal away and like hope to kill them before we get to 5. And like I have Midnight Reaper and Judy, so like I can recover from these Weepers. What's going on, Great Scott? Consistency is key. Worth noting that my opponent is missing their second white source currently, which is good for us. I think I just go ahead and play Judy out here. I guess I'd rather Midnight Reaper, because if I hit the land next turn, I can play Valiant Knight out, which will make both of these larger. I do miss 1 point of damage this way, but the upside for more damage is high here. We've not done a Gates deck yet. Yep. They blocked the wrong one there because this has first strike. So if they would have blocked here, they would have gained a life. All right, they hit the white source, so we get to play a game. If they hadn't hit the white source there, they'd just be dead. But let's gas up and get playing. Mortify looking very reasonable here, worth noting. Recently gifted a tier 1 sub, so I'd like to take advantage of my newfound emotes. So next turn, I'll probably Duress plus Judy. Sure. Huh. Well, now I'm gonna do this, I think. Am I? No, I'm gonna play Judy and attack for 4. They're at 13 already. They'll probably fight with Fire Judy, which lets me poke them, and then I can play another Judy. You always run the maximum number of shocks over other dual lines. Generally, in aggressive decks, that's what you want to do. In mid-range and control decks, it becomes a little bit more complicated. What decks have I been enjoying this rotation so far? I've got a bunch of them on my website. So my website here, jeffhoagland.com, click standard decks. You can find a bunch of things that I've been liking. So now if they have a sweeper, they go to 1. Great content. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub, Tally, and I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I'm going to attack with just Knight of Malice because this one can't get sealed away, and this way if they settle me, I get punished by that, though. That definitely punishes me. Yep. Yeah, it smelled like settle. I forgot that we had a revitalize to that deck. They are dead if they cast a sweeper, though, because Judy kills them. Do you only put decks that I personally enjoy on my website? Yeah, I put decks that are fun to play and feel competitive. So, not everything I play on stream gets its own dedicated page on the site, but everything I play on stream does go up on my YouTube channel. What's going on, Todd? Welcome back. So, they need Settle the Wreckage here to stay alive. If they have another Revitalize, they're going to attack with enough to get through that. Settle does get around Hexproof. I was explicitly talking about Seal Away. So, I'm going to go ahead... Oh, I can't... Oh, it's Hexproof from white. I'm going to Mortify my Knight of Malice here, because I want to deal a damage to them. And then, Revival is actually lethal here. So I get to go ahead and revival my other Judith, which will deal 2 to them. Triggers. Good clean live in. Good stuff, good stuff. So that right there is why you should have 4 Judiths in any deck that wants Judith. Because any deck that wants Judith always wants her in play, and when you draw the second one, it just turns into a forked bolt, so you might as well play all of them. Yeah, Judith is legendary, so when the second Judith comes into play, you lose 1, and both Judiths trigger and deal a damage. This hand's great. Let's go boop, 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 right up the curve. Even if we miss on my third land drop somehow, I get to go this into this into this. The Jund Judith deck was very reasonable. It was a little bit rough to start, but I feel like by the end we had smoothed things out a good bit. The Jund Judith video is a great video of tuning a deck from start to finish if you're into that sort of thing. Well, from start to better, obviously. Nothing's ever finished. Also, nope, I covered it. No, also. Yeah, I think this deck's very reasonable. I think the card quality in this deck is decent, and that's fantastic. Let's just make sure we draw a third land now, huh? Fair warning, I might have a bit of sodium at the start of the Jund Judith video. There might have been a lot of people shouting things at me, and I might have been a little bit medium. Missed why this deck doesn't quite hit the levels of Black White Angels. So this deck is functionally different than Black White Angels, and I think the people like to draw parallels when they just shouldn't a lot of the time. So I think while this deck is the same colors as Black White Angels and it overlaps some cards, Black White Angels is a mid-range deck while this is an aggressive deck. This deck is lower to the curve and looking to pressure people out of the game, and not every deck has to be mono red to be considered aggressive. I'm not a huge fan of Turbo Fog in the current format. We played a little bit of it, and the deck, it's probably a great best of 1 deck, but Turbo Fog is just one of the many archetypes that just gets dumpstered by sideboard cards. Let's sit down for a hot second. Enjoy the ride, chat. Hope nobody gets motion sickness. Yay, first strike. The baffling behind me is just like most Magic players, in fact, slightly tilted. They paused on this for a long while, so I wonder if they're missing a land. Nope, that's not it. Huh. Alright. You got a Chupacabra. I'm going to put 2 more Knights into play next turn. And then this is going to pop off the following turn. Do you look at deck forums after the stream? Yep. Yeah, my daily work routine is wake up, stream, format videos for YouTube after the stream has finished, get them processing, and then respond to things that people have sent me. But what hoses Fog? Counter spells, Duress, and Cinder Vines is a great card as well. Also, just like consistent early pressure is really good against the Fog deck. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play this and then attack with Dauntless Bodyguard here. Because if they want to trade these, I get to draw a card since Midnight Reaper's in play. Now, I don't really enjoy Limited, so I don't play it. There's a lot of great people who do a lot of great Limited content. Caleb Durward, MTG Nerd Girl, Numat the Nummy. Those are all folks that do a lot of great Limited. There's also a lot of the MPL players that just started streaming recently. That would be great people to check out. I tend to stay in my wheelhouse. I'm insulted as a Magic player. I'm fully committed to being tilted. God bless. Taking that trade there makes us more likely to hit our 4th land drop, so that way we have this Valiant Knight to anthem our team next turn. Ben Stark would be a great person to... So the Knight has Hexproof from white. So this one has Hexproof from white. This one has Hexproof from black. So they have Hexproof from just specific colors. Yeah, squad's gonna be real big. What's going on to Prince? 5-hour trip is long, you kids. 5-hour trip. When I was grinding to play the Open Series over the years, anything less than 6 hours was considered a short drive. We were masochists. We drove all over the country. Hexproof from Colors seems fun. I actually really like Hexproof from Colors. I wonder if they have a Vraska's Contempt here. It's more interactive than Protection from Colors, exactly. I actually really like Hexproof from Colors. I feel like it's a really elegant way to do what Protection has been for a long time. Wouldn't even get out of a state. Yep. They have a removal spell here. Maybe they just have like a cast down or an Assassin's Trophy. They're gonna kill the Valiant Knight, perhaps. Okay, I'm actually kind of okay with this sequence, right? Because like these trade and I get to draw a card, and like they're down to 9. People from the Midwest be like, not far. I mean, 12 hours doesn't even get you out of the Midwest, right? Protection from Colors just removes one of the things I find interesting about Magic, which is the interaction and the back and forth gameplay. I like that Hexproof doesn't remove the interaction so much as it just makes you have to interact in a different manner, which I think makes it better on average. I could consume this, but I don't really want to. I think I'm just gonna go Midnight Reaper, Knight of Grace here, and then next turn I can go Consume Smash. I might even just go Judith Smash next turn, honestly. There's no reason for me to offer this trade here, because I'm not going to get any damage in. Yeah, I agree. This seems like one of the many decks that seems very reasonable this format. And like, we played some Black-White Knights iterations in the previous format that felt fine. And like, getting better cards makes them better, obviously. If they have Finality here, I get to draw 2 cards, and then I get to consume their Wild Growth Walker. So we're a little bit behind, but I think that's fine for us. Okay, yep. Yep. Vivian's a tough nut. The gain 6 plus Vivian's a tough nut to crack here. Yeah, they were in the tank, and if they wanted to Finality versus fine there. Yeah, missing some of the Night Lords is probably fine. What's going on, Mango Man? Hope you're having a good one. You can subscribe easily using this link here. That'll work on any platform. So if I consume them now, they get to pick which of these they sacrifice, which isn't good for me. Kind of at a stalemate here. Now, I decided against going to Indy, Mr. Missouri. Just been working too much. I went back and looked at my stats on Sully Gnome the other day, and it said I had been live for like 60 hours in the last week or something stupid like that. What was it? 55 hours live in the last week, which is like, you know, means I've worked close to 80, so I'm gonna take some of this weekend off and just enjoy watching the Open. Alright, well. They played that, so that's good for us. This is bad for us. It probably means they're going to find more Explorer creatures. Correct, Elf Magic. It makes sense to stream a bunch now and then cut back to my normal 30 to 40 when things are a little bit less popular. The hype is at an all-time high at the moment. So, like, we're not dead for a couple of turns here, but we're not beating the board that my opponent currently has. Who's got 2 thumbs and is super glad he put a bunch of Tocatli honor guards in his sideboard? This guy right here. This guy right here. Both of these are probably bad. This is definitely bad. Probably don't want 6 removal spells. Do I want 3 of these? I'm gonna cut down to just 2. It's like fine in this matchup. Do I want Angrath here? Yeah. Like I said, if your deck makes white mana and Tocatli Honor Guard doesn't hinder your creatures, play for Tocatlis. Angrath does grind card advantage. Is it better than... He might be better than Mortify, honestly. I think I like that. Mortify is a little bit clunky. I like this as a threat, too. Like, having more than just 4 removal spells could be a little awkward. Any plans to brew / stream Wilderness Reclamation decks? I don't... people... I haven't actually been impressed with Wilderness Reclamation. I don't know what people have been playing that everybody's like, we need to ban Wilderness Reclamation. Is it like really good in Best of 1 or something? I don't get it. Halfway to a year. Thank you for the 5 months, Dunshare. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. We did do some Modern this morning. We're going to be doing a Magic Online League every single morning again. So, we took a couple of days off there after we did 2 days of all Modern. So that way we could lean into New Standard. But we're going to be doing a Magic Online League every single morning again moving forward. It's only good against people who don't run Enchantment Hate in Best of 1. Yep, sounds right. Whenever I hear people complaining about the current standard format, I always do a pause for a second. I'm like, oh, you play Best of 1, don't you? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's why. Like, the cards you hate dies to sideboard cards. Nice 2-1. Sweet magic card. I love the denied animation of the Tocatli, just like, nope. How about some nope? How about some nope? Play another 2-1. This one will cost 3 mana. Read. What does Tocatli hit besides Skullgari decks? I actually really like boarding in Tocatli against mono red because it shuts off Goblin Chain Whirler, Vanish O Pyromancer, and a 1/3 for 2 just like blocks reasonably. I've all withered in front of my Meankin. God bless we McGee. Yeah, it's probably fine against Bant Flash. I'd buy that for $1.
I have faced worse.
Oh, this card might bury us since we're missing land drops, though. Oh, yeah, the Pod Dex is probably pretty okay against. Lava Coil, please. So if I hit another land next turn, I can play Valiant Knight, which allows these to be 4 power first strikers that can attack through this Thrashing Brontodon, so that would be nice.
I'll make use of that later.
How can you tell apart the one that's being targeted? I actually don't think you can, which is an arena bug. Yeah, we're probably dead. I guess if I draw the land next turn, this could be okay. I mean, Wilderness Reclamation decks are going to be some of the more difficult ones to tune. Like, decks that are proactive. Like, we've been playing a bunch of sweet Judith decks on stream, and, like, Judith decks that are aggressive are definitely easier to find optimal builds of than more complicated decks. Unemployed Sofa with the 3-month resub. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Welcome back. So, I'm going to go ahead and consume their Brontodon here, since they left up Vraska's Contempt here, so I can then pressure the Karn. So I need to take Karn off the table. Because if I play Valiant Knight, they'll just kill the Knight and then block one of my 3/2s again. Yeah, Judith is the Rakdos 3-drop. Oh, Judy. So they'll chump one of my creatures, contempt the Midnight Reaper, and then get the -2/-2, and then we're very dead. Tough end. I think Golgari tends to beat up on decks like this, which is why you need 4 Tocatli Honor Guard to the sideboard. Honestly, I don't think I'd main deck them right now, because there's a lot of people trying different things, but I expect green-black to stay a very good deck. So there's probably a very real chance that, like, these Consecrates could even be main deck Tocatli Honor Guards. If you expect to play against a lot of green-black with an archetype like this, having some hate for it is good, and Tocatli Honor Guard randomly has reasonable text in other places, so I think I'm pretty happy with what we arrived at here as the final iteration, but that would be my only comment. Rather than playing these in the main, I would swap them, main and sideboard, to put the Tocatlis in so you can have a better hedge game 1 against the green.